time of our life we were born and raised in a summer haze, bound by the surprise of our glory days. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. I could have fought it. I hope you see my face, that you be reminded that for me it isn't over.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts.
Nothing compares, no worries or cares, regret and mistakes, them memories made. Who would have known how bittersweet this would taste? Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes hurt instead. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes hurt instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes hurt instead. Thank you.
I don't want to talk about it.
And the stars in the sky don't mean nothing to you, they're a mirror. I don't wanna talk about it, how you broke my heart.
Hello everyone. You can check our YouTube live show and please share with all your friends, relatives. We have a live show performance at the YouTube link that we will share.
Oh, my heart. If I stand all alone, will the shadow hide the color of my heart? Blue for the tears, black for the night. Fears the stars in the sky don't mean nothing to you, they're a mirror. I don't wanna talk about it, how you broke my heart. If I stay here just a little bit longer, if I stay and want to listen to my heart. Oh, my heart.
Once again, we'd like to share information. We have a live show performance for today's event. You can check at our YouTube channel and please share the link to your friends, your relatives, and your connections for the live show. Thank you.
Sedampar bui menanti waktu pulang ke laut. Begitu rindu dipisah takdir, meniti saat bersulam cinta. Lihat, lihat ke dalam mataku, sinarnya menyala. Lihat, lihat ke dalam mataku, cintamu bertata. Sebelum ku kenal dirimu siapa, aku tak kenali apa itu cinta. Setelah ku kenal dirimu sebenar, kau cinta sejati, ku sadarkan jiwa. Digilis angin tercari awan, menanti detik sebelum hujan. Begitu sendu diguris rasa, meniti hari bersulam tangis. Lihat, lihat ke dalam mataku, sinarnya menyala. Lihat, lihat ke dalam mataku, cintamu bertata di hati. Takkan berganjak pendirian diri selagi kita tak kembali bersatu selamanya. Takkan berubah perasaan ini Tatap gambar wajahmu, sinar mata itu, lirik senyumanmu, pesona yang membelai. Wajahmu bercahaya, memberi bahagia. Tiap yang memandang, hati jadi salju.
Kau terlalu istimewa, kasih dan sayangmu terpancar seikhlas, tiada batasan, terus membara, terkilan rasa jiwa. Ingin ku lihatmu dewasa, apa daya Tuhan lebih menyayangimu. Pasti kau berbahagia, duduk di sampingnya, mendengar cerita segala rahasia. Kau terlalu istimewa, kasih dan sayangmu terpancar seikhlas, tiada batasan, terus membara, terkilan rasa jiwa. Ingin ku lihatmu dewasa, apa daya Tuhan lebih menyayangimu. Tak tertanggung rindu mendengar suaramu, tawa mengusik jiwa. Terpancar seikhlas, tiada batasan, terus membara, terkilan rasa jiwa. Ingin ku lihatmu dewasa, apa daya Tuhan lebih menyayangi.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making time to join our event today. As we are about to begin, please be seated. A little housekeeping announcement. Please kindly switch off your mobile phones to silent mode, and we're about to start. Please take your seat and welcome. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. A very good morning dan selamat pagi semua. How are you everyone? Alhamdulillah. Welcome to the Johor Autism Summit 2023. After a long hiatus, mainly due to the disruption caused by the pandemic, we are indeed pleased to be able to gather everyone for this important event. We hope that throughout the next 3 exciting days, you will be able to get insightful information from the programs we have lined up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are about to start. Welcome to those who have just arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce and welcome Dr. Rowena Abdul Karim, the chair of the Johor Autism Summit 2023 committee, and deliver the opening speech. Let's give her a round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Johor Autism Summit 2023. We are thrilled to have you all here today to learn, share, and connect with one another. This event is dedicated to providing information and resources to individuals and families affected by autism, as well as to professionals and caregivers who work with individuals on the autism spectrum. Throughout the course of this summit, you will have the opportunity to hear from experts in the field of autism, learn about the latest research and advancement in treatment, and connect with others who understand the challenges and joys of raising a child with autism. This edition of Summit will feature 4 major components. Number 1, General Conference. Number 2, Scientific Conference. Number 3, Workshop, and the last one is Industrial Exhibition and Presentation. The General Conference can benefit participants with information and resources in the field of special learning. The Scientific Conference will highlight the latest scientific findings by prominent researchers and academics. And the Autism Workshop can benefit participants by providing them with hands-on training and practical strategies for managing autism. The industrial exhibition, participants have opportunity to learn its services and technologies in their field, networking with industry professionals, and gaining knowledge and insight through attending presentations. Participants also have opportunities for businesses and organizations that cater to the special needs of children. We believe that by coming together, we can make a real difference in the life of individuals with autism, dyslexia, and their families. We hope that you will leave this event feeling informed, inspired, and connected to a community that truly cares. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to a day filled with learning, growth, and support. I believe that together we can and will give children with learning disabilities a chance to live independent and meaningful life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rowena, for your inspiring and heartfelt welcoming speech. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to introduce Puan Hajah Salma Jopri, the Director of Special Education at the Ministry of Education Malaysia, to deliver the event's keynote address. Welcome, Puan Hajah.
Thank you, Madam MCs. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a very good morning, everyone, especially to the distinguished guests, parents, teachers. I was told that we have about 600 teachers comes from all over Malaysia, and congratulations to the teachers. No matter what, whether you are in the private schools or in the government schools. And I'm very happy to have you all here too. And first and foremost, I would like to thank you to the organizer for inviting me this morning to give some celoteh or to share with you on the overview of special education in Malaysia. I might use both language. Then they will say where applicable, right? Okay, first and foremost, as you know, I'm from the Ministry of Education. Thank you so much for the opportunity of giving me as a keynote speaker, one, because this is something which is very new to me, because normally I am the panel of any, but today I'm the keynote speaker, and it worries me actually. But, okay, as you know, the Ministry of Education, we hold the primary responsibilities in ensuring that our children, they get their proper and suitable education, no matter what, whether they are from the mainstream or they are the special educational need children. Okay, the progress of special education, as you can see, started rapidly way back in 1990s. And numbers of changes in terms of policies and everything. As you can see, and we have more effective policies, such as Education Act 1996, that is under Chapter 8, in which mention the needs of having special education for the special education needy children, and also Education Act Amendment Act 2002, and also on the regulation of education. We have two special regulation of education in bracket special education in 1997, and then there's been another amendment on the same regulation in 2013. And we do have on Person with Disability Act 2008, which the owner of this act is under the Ministry of Women. And on top of that, in ensuring that our children, our special education children, they do get their proper education. In 2013, when we start our Malaysia Education Blueprint, ataupun dikenali sebagai PPPM, 2013 to 2025, especially it is in the Malay version, the Chapter 4, it is clearly stated that quality, equity, and access should be achievable in the inclusive education, in which this inclusive education, it is meant for the special education need children program within a 13 years timeline. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, as you can see from the slide, if you can see from the slide, you see, as of 31st January 2023, 2023, in which we have about 107,020 children with disabilities, or when they enrolled under the Ministry of Education, we call them special educational need children in our system. In which, from that amount, from that numbers, we have 6 categories. That is, visual disability, we have 3,753. And for the blind, we have 2,589. And for the physical disability, we have 6,959. And then on the speech disability, we have 926 children. And for the MD, multiple disabilities, we have 3,588. And under the LDs, learning disabilities, this is the biggest numbers, that is 89,195, in which under the LDs, we have autism, Down syndrome, ADHD, and dyslexia, etc. So for autism alone, we have the children with autism who have registered under the Ministry of Education is 20,991 all over Malaysia. And in Johor alone, in Johor here, because we have summit in Johor, that's why I need to mention how many autism children have enrolled under the system. That is 2,562 children. And as you can see, so those are the figures or the numbers or the data that we have in our system who have registered under the Ministry of Education. For your information, we have about 4.2 million children, students in the ministry, under the ministry. So out of that, 107,020 children with disabilities in the system. So after that, what are the settings for the children with disabilities? Okay, under the Ministry of Education, we have 3 settings of special education. The first one is special education school, in which 100% of the children here, they are special educational need children. We don't have much number, we don't have much schools under SES. We have about 28 primary schools all over Malaysia. And then in Johor, we do have we have 4 primary schools in Johor for special ed. And we have 1 secondary schools. And altogether, they are focusing on vocational training or vocational studies, in which at the end of the day, when they leave the school, the children from the vocational studies, they will get their SKM, Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia. We work together with the Human Resource Ministry under the Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. And on top of that, we do have program, Special Education Integrated Program. So Special Education Integrated Program is an education program for people with special, with SEN, and then they are placed in the special class. It is in the mainstream class, in the mainstream schools. It is in the mainstream school, but they do have their special class. And this means that people with SEN are placed in a special class within the government or government-aided school. Yeah? And they will have the opportunity to socialize among mainstream students during assemblies or recess or co-curricular activities for the PPKI or SEIP. And altogether, as of 31st January 2013, we have altogether 1,710 SEIP programs in the primary schools, and also 927 SEIP in secondary schools. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, dear parents, and everyone here, under Ministry of Education, way back in 2013, we do have the Inclusive Education Program. Actually, this is the main target, especially children with autism, actually. Okay. The inclusive program in which, as in Malaysia, it is an educational program for people with SEN who are enrolled together with other mainstream students in the government and government-aided schools. So as of 31st January, there are altogether 2,720 schools, IEP in primary school, and also 1,175 IEP in secondary schools. But there are certain requirements when we enroll our children under the IEP, in the Inclusive Education Program here. And later, maybe if we have time, I will explain further on that. So now the setting of the children where they can go to get their education under the Ministry of Education, we have 3 settings, as I mentioned earlier, SES, SEIP, and also IEP. Now, what do they learn in school? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to implement special education, we do have 4 curriculum options for them. Is it possible for you to come back to the pages? Thank you so much. Okay, these are the curriculum in which they might opt for this any curriculum, but according to their abilities. Then, because I would like to explain the 4 curriculum here. The first one, the 4 options is, the first one is national curriculum, curriculum arus perdana, in which the IEP, the full IEP, they will follow the national curriculum, and they will sit for public exam. They will sit for public exam, such as now we have SPM, okay, or STPM. And then the second option, they can go for modified national curriculum, in which the registrar, that is our KP, the DG, modified this curriculum to suit the needs of pupils with SEN, and they are also not exempted from the public exam, meaning to say they need to sit for public exam too. And the third option is a customized curriculum, or in the ministry, it is well known as Curriculum Standard Sekolah Rendah Pendidikan Khas, or Curriculum Standard Sekolah Menengah Pendidikan Khas. And we have also Curriculum Standard Sekolah Menengah Pendidikan Khas Kefungsian Rendah. We do have for the secondary, we do have 2 options for that. And then this curriculum is specially developed to suit the needs of pupils with SEN, and they are exempted from public examination, meaning to say they don't sit for public exam, but they do have their own exam. Except, let's say, if there's a moderate, they may go for KSSMPK, and for the first year, when they are in the secondary school, they will sit for the Kursus Askar Vocational, and from year 2 until they finish the school, they may follow curriculum kefungsian, kemahiran specific on that, KVS, right? And on this note, I would like to encourage the parents. I would like to encourage the parents who have their children, or I would like to encourage the teachers who have their children in the school. As you know, that we have 2 years extra in age, okay? They may take the 2 years extra in the primary schools, or in the secondary school, or 1 year in the primary school, or 1 year in the secondary school when they're in the secondary school. But I would like to encourage the parents to send their students, to send their children to the secondary school when they reach age 13, because you know why? We do have the KSSMPK. It is on skill-based curriculum, And we do have modular, the SKM modular, in which if, let's say, they have more time in the secondary school, they have ample time in completing the task. And they will get Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia modular. So it is better for the children to be in the secondary. The duration should be better for you to have more extra time in the secondary school, in the secondary level. But at the end of the day, it is up to the parents. The teachers, you don't force the parents. You have to make sure that you need to discuss with the parents and you need to explain to the parents. If, let's say, the teachers are not very sure, you can come back to us and seek some advice from us, then we will take. And if, let's say, the parents, they are not, if, let's say, the parents, they are not really convinced by our colleague at state level, you can always come to us because we believe in no wrong door policies, okay? Okay, next to it, and then what other things that we have? These are our support system. It is a material and non-material support that we have in our system. The first one is the assistive device. Assistive device, in which devices that we will give to the student will supply based on the disability categories and the type of assistive devices needed by the student, by the SEND students. And also the second support system that we have is the financial assistance. For your information, whenever they have been diagnosed as, they have certain categories of disability by the medical practitioner, they can always come to us, come to the ministry and enroll under special ed. And then on top of that, they are given allowance of 150 per month, but there is one requirement. The children, they need to have card OKU, and then issued by Ministry of Human. And then on the support system also, we have Poor Student Trust Fund, that is KWAMP also, and additional plan, that is RMT. We do have RMT. And also for those who are staying in the hostel. Okay, let me share once again. The 6 secondary schools that we have in Malaysia, they are all, they have hostels so that the children can stay in. But we don't charge them for their meals. It is for free. Because as you know, if you go to the boarding school, right, so the parents, they need to pay certain amount of money, right, according to their salary. But our children, we don't charge them. And then on top of that, as I mentioned earlier, those who are sitting for public exam, okay, we do allocate extra time for them. For instance, let's say if they sit for Bahasa Melayu, so during the exam, we give the half an hour or 1 hour extra time, the allowance. And then at the same time, for those who have difficulties in reading, we do have assistance and support provided during the examination. And I mentioned earlier, we have extended time, extended stay duration, in which a 2-year extra for those who are, whether they are in the secondary or in primary school. I mentioned earlier, so I will not mention that again. And on top of that, for those who attend to our vocational school, it is different from KV, college vocational. But we do have our children in college vocational too. And we do have that. We do have about 100 plus all over Malaysia. But that one is under IEP, Inclusive Education Program. For those who are attending secondary vocational special educational school, we have 1 more year extra for them. So in total, they have 3 years extra, okay, to be in the system. And on top of that, what are other support system that we have is 3PK, Pusat Perkhidmatan Pendidikan Khas, or Pusat Perkhidmatan Pendidikan Khas or Special Education Service Center. And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, and parents, especially parents, because I think teachers, they are very much aware of these. We do have allied educators in our system. We have audiologists, 4 audiologists. We have speech and language therapists, 13. 13 speech and language therapists. We have 14 occupational therapists in our system. And we have 2 clinical psychologists. We do have 11 psychologists. And also we have 4 physiotherapists and 3 education interventionists. So total, we have 51 allied educators all over Malaysia. But it is not enough, I know. They are working hard in order to cater to the needs of our SEND children under the Ministry of Education. So, what are their activities? They do screening, and they do the intervention, rehabilitation, and consultation. Even during pandemic, they did not stop, except for the screening. We do have some problem with that, because of the rules and regulation during pandemic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think most of you remembered, way back in 2019, when our ex-minister did announce zero reject policy. Actually, we do have the policy that we cannot chase away the children, but it is, we must accept the children, whoever enroll in our system. But I do realize there are some schools which are reluctant to accept the children. That is why, out of concern, our minister that time did announce the zero reject policy, in which on the 3rd of December 2019 in Parliament, I think. And follow that, we do issue one letter in December, 26 December 2019, saying, emphasizing on the implementation of zero reject policy. And therefore, from that on, we do have this framework towards ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education in Malaysia. It is based on, definitely, the framework developed based on the principle of education for all. Initially, we put zero reject policy, but we do have to follow education for all and serve as the basics for our education pathway in line with the ministry intention to maximize the independence among pupils with SEN. So this can be achieved through employability, a pathway, and or post-secondary and tertiary education, promoting awareness and acceptance among schools, members, and community regarding the diverse needs and abilities of pupils with SEN. So therefore, as you can see from the slide, we have identified the Ministry of Education. We have identified to enhance on our special education system based on 6 pillars. The first pillar is empowerment on human capital, and the second one is strengthening support system, and also the third pillar, enhancement of teaching and learning co-curricular and talent expansions. And we feel that we need to reinforce accessibility and mobility. It becomes our 4th pillar. And next pillar is enforcing good governance, because this is very important. And the last one is improving on data management. That's why we are able to produce data whenever need and necessary, quite fast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, based on the framework towards ensuring the inclusive and equitability of our children, we do have education pathway for individual with special needs. These are the laluan pendidikan bagi individu berkeperluan khas. Okay, we start off from the moment the children born. If let's say you have identified any irregularities, you may go to, most parents, they will go to the clinics to get dia pengesanan ketidakupayaan dan keperluan intervensi sokongan. And I will not touch much on the first part, but I will go through the second part. Okay, if let's say we have identified whether they are kefungsian tinggi or whether they are kefungsian tinggi or kefungsian sederhana or kefungsian rendah. Okay, low function, moderate or high function. If let's say the children, they are high function children, then they may follow the typical pathway and they will follow the curriculum, the national curriculum as shown from the slide in the diagram. And if let's say they are moderate or low function, as I mentioned earlier, we do develop our special curriculum. Last time they call alternative curriculum. That is the KSSR, KSSM, PK. And they need to follow the curriculum pendidikan khas. And they need to, if let's say they need to do some intervention, that is why we have our allied educators. They will carry out the intervention and do some sokongan for that. And for the typical for the IEP, for the IEP, after the schools, lepas menengah, they may go straight to the tertiary education. And for the alternative, for the moderate or for the low function, they may go to the secondary as mentioned earlier, with help or without help. And after that, they will follow the same path as alam pekerjaan dan kebolehpasaran. Okay, these are the things in which we are trying our very best to ensure that our children, our special education children, get their proper education. Okay, the parents, you might ask, how, if let's say you are not sure where to get all these, how do you want to enroll your children under the Ministry of Education? You can always go to our counterpart at state level, because at state level we do have one sector we call Sektor Pendidikan Khas. And in Johor, I think I have one lady here who lead the special Sektor Pendidikan Khas. Can you please stand up for a moment? Yeah, she is the one. If let's say parents from Johor, friends from Johor, bolehkan Puan Rovina? Thank you so much. And let's say, if you have any queries based on my presentation, based on my sharing today, you can always email me. My email is, as mentioned there, salma.jopri@moe.gov.my. And I have no problem if you like to WhatsApp me. I can always share with you my handphone number? No problem. And you can always go to my Facebook too. My Facebook is Salma Jopri at Yahoo. My Facebook is Salma Binti Jopri. I will put Binti. And my handphone number is 013 7724 764. You can feel free to call me anytime. If you happen to be in Putrajaya, you can always call me if you want to come, if you want to drop by at my office. I have no problem with that, because numbers of parents come to my office to seek advice whatsoever. Whenever I'm around, feel free to drop by. Okay? And I'm still single. Oh, thank you so much. But for your information, I'm going to have my compulsory retirement next year. I'll be 60 next year. Okay, thank you. Cakaplah, nampak muda. I think I'm ahead of time, but then thank you so much, everyone, for giving your ears, for lending your ears to my celoteh this morning. And after this, I'll be around. If let's say you need if you have any queries later when you go around, then you can come and see me. With that, I would like to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Puan Haja. It's a very insightful information and a lovely speech. And indeed, you are still look very, very young. As you know, we have a live telecast on the YouTube, and we would very appreciate if you can visit our YouTube channel, and you can just click search Johor Autism Summit 2023, and do share with your friends among a circle of networks. Now, shall we begin again? It's my honor to invite Dr. Rowena back to the stage to share her keynote address, Creating Decisive Change Through Positive Action.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Johor Autism Summit 2023. I'd like to start this summit by asking two questions. Who are we? And why are we here? These are the kind of existential questions asked by philosophers. Instead, they are practical and pertinent questions everyone attending an event such as this must have asked ourselves countless times. The reason I am asking this question is to share, after talking with many of you today, what the answers are. Why are we here? To this, many of you have said that although you might not know what the official statistic might be exactly, you can feel it in your bones that incidence of autism spectrum disorder in our children is increasing at alarming rate. You look around you, and you can no longer deny that autism is a trait that needs to be dealt with before it goes to undermine the very structure of our society. And secondly, who are we? To this, very overwhelming majority of answers have been because we would like to make a difference. Regardless of socio-economic background, education level, faith, or ethnicity, all of you are committed to doing your part in dealing with autism spectrum disorder in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like very much to move on directly to the theme for this year's event, creating decisive change through positive action. As you can see, there are two components to this year's theme. They are decisive change and positive action. But what do we mean when we say decisive change? And what do we mean when we say positive action? Would we be able to recognize this thing if they presented themselves to us? For our purpose, decisive change, to mean change is so fundamental that marks departure from how things were done to how things are going to be done from now on. Decisive change is the change that marks the line between how things used to be and how things are going to be. To put this in context, decisive change is the kind of change that will define how autism and dyslexia will be dealt with from now on in Malaysia. Thus, the goal of this summit seeks to pave the way for creating decisive change. We need to dealing with autism and dyslexia, the newer and the better ways of doing things that we wish we had thought of sooner. The second component of this year's theme is positive change. But what do we mean when we say positive change or positive action? Positive action is any measure at any level that will enable any target group to minimize their disadvantage or enable members on that group to participate meaningfully in any activity. In short, positive action is any measure that empowers children with autism and dyslexia to overcome their disadvantages. Ladies and gentlemen, as you might have noticed, we have included dyslexia as an important feature in this year's agenda. In case you are wondering why this is so, I will now explain the rationale behind the decision. The latest statistics show that between 4% to 8% of Malaysian school children are diagnosed as dyslexic. Given that 20% of the population of Malaysia are school-going age, a conservative estimate of the number of dyslexic children in our country stands at 336,000. Worse, since there is no currently standardized assessment protocol for Malaysia in dyslexic, the number is likely to be even higher. Before I go on any further, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all of you for making it to this summit today. Indeed, this is a reflection of your dedication and commitment to the cause of autism. I would also like to thank to our enablers, especially Bahagian Pendidikan Khas, Kementerian Pendidikan, without whom this summit not have seen the light of day. And also, my heartfelt appreciation goes out to all parents, caregivers, and educators out there who are fighting daily battles against the ravages of autism that no one will ever talk about. These are the brave men and women are giving it their all, day in and day out, so that our autistic children might have a chance at living independent and meaningful life. Let's give a round of applause to these selfless, courageous, modern-day heroes that no one ever talks about. Today, I would like to speak to you about 3 things. Number 1, the transient role of awareness program. And number 2, the importance of concrete action. Number 3, the role we have to play in order to translate awareness into action. It is my hope that after this, we will be able to free ourselves from the shackles of mere awareness and take our battles into the realm of action. My name is Ruina Abdul Karim, and I am an occupational therapist. Awareness programs are alive and well in Malaysia. This is true not just for autism, but only for many other issues that affect our society. However, our success rate for autism awareness has been nothing short of spectacular. In short space of time, it is safe for us to say that more Malaysians have now become more aware about autism than any other disease out there. For this, to the people behind Autism Awareness Program, deserve a big round of applause. As a result of the tireless work of the beautiful people behind Autism Awareness Program, we all know the following. Number 1, autism is a spectrum of neurodevelopmental disorders that causes a child to interact with reality indifferent. And number 2, there is no epidemiological data available on the prevalence of autism in Malaysia. However, the number of children enrolled in special needs program had more than doubled between 2006 to 2019. Number 3, early detection and undergoing the appropriate therapy are the keys for managing the disease so that these children have a fighting chance at a living independent and meaningful life. These 3 pieces of information will form a primary takeaway of any awareness program we could care to attend. And the truth is, thanks to the beautiful people behind this awareness program. However, the question for most of us today, for us, is no longer are we aware of autism or how it affects our society. The question for most of us today has become, what do we do with all this awareness? While awareness program will always have its place, it should never be the be-all and end-all in our fight against autism. If awareness programs are to be useful to us, they must not only be milestone, they must also become stepping stones to something bigger and meaningful. For awareness to have any meaning, it must become the launching pad for action. At this point, let me repeat Dr. Phil quote: awareness without action is worthless. Unless awareness program lead us into action, then it would have all been a waste of time. The time has come for us to translate this awareness that we have into concrete and action. It is only with action that we will be able to make a tangible difference. Now, here is the kicker: that someone is us, and the time is now. I cannot stress enough that if we really want to make a tangible difference, the time has come for us to become men and women of action. We can no longer remain in the periphery as a man and woman of awareness. The time has come for us to translate our awareness into action. We know that the next step is action. What kind of action? What action is required? For what we have learned so far, action is most required in the two vital areas. These are getting our children to be properly assessed for autism. And number two, getting autistic children to undergo the appropriate therapy. As individuals and members of society, this is where we can play our biggest role. If we feel that our child might be autistic, get the child assessed as soon as possible. Like any other disease, early detection is the key. The sooner the disease is detected, the sooner it can be dealt with and managed. And if the child is found to be autistic, get him or her to go for therapy. Denial and delay will only make things worse for the child. To truly have a change at independent and meaningful life, the child must undergo therapy as soon as possible. We must understand this fact, and we must understand it well. The longer we delay therapy, the less it will benefit our children. This is the least that we can do. But nothing worthwhile is ever achieved alone. To take the autism agenda to the next level, it will make or take more than just individual acting on their own. Now, where does all of this lead us? Where do we go from here? First of all, there's an interesting fact that I would like to share with all of you today. The bulk of our existing knowledge based on autism comes from research done in developed countries. However, according to WHO, incidence of autism is more prevalent in less developed countries. The inference that we can safely draw here is that heightened research into the local experience will pave the way to not only more effective intervention, but also to better service delivery system. In the other words, research into the local experience has the potential to uncover new and better treatments. In this area, I would like to call upon our academic and research institutions to come forward and spearhead this initiative. Number one, understanding the causes and underlying biology of autism. Number two, improving early detection and diagnosis for autism. Number three, developing effective treatments and intervention for autism. And number four, supporting individuals with autism and their families. The academic and research institutes are uniquely positioned to take this challenge. In fact, they are the only ones who can do this and expect a reasonable chance of success. Secondly, we need to talk about building our capacity in addressing our autism issues. Whether we could or we would care to admit it or not, our capacity in addressing this issue is still in its infancy. There is still a lot more that we can and must achieve. It is not possible to speak of capacity building without making a clarion call to the government to take the leadership position in this role. Without the government's influence, authority, and involvement, any capacity building exercise will be meaningless. But what do I mean when I say capacity building? Here, there are three imperatives that cannot be accomplished without positive input from the government. These are development of policies that address the needs of citizens with autism. Number two, mobilization and allocation of resources for the sustained improvement of health system. And number three, continuous support for advocacy and localized research into autism. Specifically, the government could implement policies that introduce an integrated care paradigm for autism that spans multiple disciplines. It could strengthen national specific data on autism by enhancing health surveillance and information system. Or it could institute active backing for civil society to advocate the autism cause. Naturally, these are but a few examples of how the government can take up its leadership in addressing the autism issues in Malaysia. But one thing is certain, success will continue to elude us if the government does not take actively and positively contribute towards the autism cause in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, in summary, What do we have in store for us in coming year? Children will be able to learn to be part of their community. They will develop a sense of belonging and become better prepared for life in community as a children and adults. Number 2, children with different abilities will be better motivated when they learn in classes surrounded by other children. All the goals discussed above are in line with our theme for this year. Creating decisive change through positive action. These are the measures are designed to minimize the disadvantages faced by autistic and dyslexic children that will result in improving the way that we do things. Nonetheless, we must all understand that no individuals will be able to achieve this goal by their own. These goals will require the commitment, collaboration, and cooperation between individuals, activists, non-government organizations, institutes of higher learning, corporations, and cause the autism, and government. Everyone has a role to play and everyone must play their role. As you might already aware, our theme for the next 3 days is creating positive change through decisive personal and community action. With that in mind, I would like to ask all present here today to please stand up. Now that we are standing, let us make this our stand in creating acceptance and commitment to the autism cause. Surely, standing together shoulder to shoulder like this, we will achieve the success we so desire. On that note, I would like to thank all of you for participating in this year's edition of Summit and leave you with a quotation from a famous American president, Theodore Roosevelt. It is only through labor and painful effort, by grim and energy and resilient courage, we move on to better things. Thank you so much.
Namun azam meneruskan hidup tak pernah luntur. Engkaulah perwira di medan derita, merentasi ranjau kehidupan dengan harapan. Luahan rasa derita jiwa pada
Yang lain tak
wajah
payah lain.
tiada rahsia. Menunggu malang berganti tua, usah kau berputus asa. berkali tersungkur pandanganmu kabur, namun azam meneruskan hidup tak pernah luntur. Engkaulah perwira di medan derita, merentasi ranjau kehidupan dengan harapan, luahan rasa derita jiwa pada wajah tiada rahsia, menunggu malam berganti tua, usah kau berputus asa, usah kau berputus asa. Kaulah wira.
Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need sympathy. Easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me, to me. Mama, just kill a man, put a gun against his head, pull my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I'm gonna throw it all away. Mama, ooh, I didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, carry on. It's nothing really matters.
Thank you.
Too late, my time has come, send shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, ooh, I don't wanna die. Sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I don't mimpi demi kejayaan, terdiri sejak mula tanpa berusaha, tanpa coba melangkah tak kemana. Di mana kau berada, pencapaian tak tiba dengan mudah. Sing along. Kini standing in the eyes of the world, hanyalah selangkah dari nyata. Keasaman membara di jiwa, menanti saat bebas merdeka. Tiba masa kau melangkah gagah, bersemangat ke arah matlamat sedaya upaya. Engkau terunggu, wajah standing in the eyes of the world. Harapan yang pernah terkulai layu kembali segar mekar bawa bayanganmu. Setiap manusia ingin berjaya, namun tak semua miliki Tuhan. Engkau menghampirinya, kesempatan telah pun tiba. Kini standing in the eyes of the world, hanyalah selangkah dari nyata. Keasaman membara di jiwa, menanti saat bebas merdeka. Tiba masa kau melangkah gagah, bersemangat ke arah matlamat sedaya upaya. Everybody, engkau terunggu, wajah standing in the eyes of the world. Standing in the eyes, standing in the eyes, standing in the eyes, standing in the eyes of the world. Sama-sama kita tepuk tangan. Standing in the eyes of the world. Standing in the eyes, standing in the eyes, standing in the eyes of the world. Standing in the eyes of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We are now going to take a 30 minutes break. Thank you for very supportive. We're going to have a 30 minutes break. We hope you will be energized and refreshed, and we'll